Hello, Tiffany here with Cards Crafty Creations. I'm going to be working on a Halloween project today, and we're going to be using the Crafty Stamp Company's Movie Monster stamp set on some Nino Solar White cardstock. I'm going to color it with some Prismacolor markers, and then this is a stencil which is called Yikes and Frights. And then I'm going to be using their 6x6 pattern paper called Elegantly Eerie. And I'm going to, I have these letters that are going to spell out boo, which I got ages ago at Joann's. They were on like super clearance or something. And then I had painted them white, and then I didn't paint them white. I painted them black. And then I never did anything with them. I had plans of doing something, but Halloween went by quickly and I didn't get to do it. So I thought I would do it this year with this kind of collection of Halloween stuff. I really like this paper. It's kind of vintagey and I think it goes well with the movie monsters. We got Frankenstein and it's Frankenstein's monster and then Bride of Frankenstein stamp set. And so I thought that paper would go really good with the spookiness of the monsters. But anyway, we're gonna color this with Prismacolor markers. And unfortunately I was reorganizing my Prismacolor markers, and then I had too many to fit into my case, and so I totally gave up, and now they're all mismatched and not organized, and then it's taking me too long to find the colors that I want to use. But I will have to go in and reorganize them so that I'm not searching while I'm shooting a video for the colors that I want to use. Now I'm going to color this, and Bride of Frankenstein's hair is like black with the white streaks in it, and I'm going more of a gray color on the coloring because later in the video I'm going to use a black micro liner to add dimension by drawing in strands of hair, which is going to darken up the hair in the end. And not all black is exactly black. A lot of it has a lot of highlights in it. It's gray looking in some lights. It just really depends. Sometimes it's going to take on whatever color light is reflecting off of it. So black hair is quite an interesting hair to color, because depending, like I said, what kind of lighting you're using in it would cast different hues on it. So I'm kind of going with a gray color here and then adding the black lines in later. And even for the white parts of the hair, the white streaks, I'm going to just kind of give them a shadow of gray. Sometimes white has shadows of yellow, shadows of purple, and shadows of gray. So I'm sticking with the gray theme. Anyways, I'm just gonna go ahead and color these characters, and then when I'm all finished and doing the line work, then we'll go ahead and kind of build this boo sign together. Okay, so here's my finished coloring. As you can see, I did actually a lot of kind of line work. That's what I kind of like to do lately. Add some dimension to clothing or even the character themselves. Even put stripes on our dress. I did like little hash marks on his pants, and so I do kind of like to use pins for that. Okay, so now we're going to start working on our sign. So I have the stencil here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get out some wax. This is Prima Marketing's. It's old. They probably still have it, but I've had mine forever, and it melted into the lid because I traveled with it and it was upside down in the moving truck, and it was summer, so it's all of my waxes got kind of messed up, but they still work and they still function. But I'm just going to take a really crappy paintbrush and kind of blend this on through the stencil, and as you see, it gives it kind of like an iridescent green color with the word. So I thought that would add like a little bit extra character than just having black letters. And then I'm going to take some pieces of the pattern paper and I'm going to trace the letters on it, but I'm not going to cut the whole piece of paper out to cover the letter. I'm going to just cut out a portion of it and then rip the paper, and then we'll glue that onto the letter. So we'll still be able to see the green. It's kind of a metallic-y color when it's on the black wax letters, and then we'll tear out some of the pattern paper and put it on the bottom to give it some character. And this pattern paper is mostly black, so I had to get my white gel pen out to kind of trace it so that I could see what I needed to cut out. Then I'm just going to glue it on with some liquid glue. I kind of hope that the liquid glue holds because this paper is kind of shiny, and so I'm not sure how well the liquid glue will hold on the shiny paper, but I do put all kinds of other stuff on it, so I'm sure with everything that goes on it, it will be just fine. So I'm just tracing everything out, cutting it out, and then gluing it on to the letters. So now what I'm doing is I actually have these like wooden door hanging signs. I think they're just made out of like balsa wood or something, and I have a whole pack of them, and so I glue 2 of them together because that makes them a lot more stable. And I'm just going to glue on some more of the pattern paper because this is going to be the base that we're going to use to put the boo letters on. So this is going to be the base of our sign. And I'm sure you're wondering that looks pretty small compared to the size of those letters, and you would not be wrong. The base is much smaller than the letters, but because I'm going to stack them and angle them, they're going to fit on there just fine. And it actually forced me to be a little bit more creative rather than just sticking them on a flat surface side by side like in a row. And because it was such a small base that I gave myself, I had to figure out how to get all of the 3 letters on there to fit in a way that they aren't going to, fall off. Now some of them will be hanging over, but that won't be a problem because we're going to add some stuff to the base of it. so that will kind of camouflage the fact that a few of them are hanging over. But I really like how it came out in that the letters weren't all lined up in a row, that they were kind of staggered and angled, and it just, I think, added a little bit more interest and challenged me to try and fit them on here, because I really didn't want to go and try and find a base to fit it. I wanted to use what I had already, and I also didn't want to go in the garage and find a piece of wood that was going to be really heavy, and so I just used what I had and I made it work. So I'm going to cut these characters out because they're going to be on our sign. I'm going to adhere them to the sign after I do some other stuff to kind of jazz it up and create a scene. So now I'm just kind of trying to lay things out to where I think they're going to look best. And then I did die cut out several of these like creepy wrought iron fence die cuts. Unfortunately, I did cream, which actually looks really good on the B and the O, but the second O, it doesn't really stand out that much because, well, the background is mostly cream. So that was kind of a little bit of a bummer on my part, but I put so much stuff in front of it that it really doesn't matter. And when you're looking at it actually in person, you can see that, you know, that die cut exists and that it's there and has its place in the scene. So I'm just gonna adhere these on, and I will say they didn't cut out all that well. I think I ran them through like 3 times and they still tore while I was trying to get them out of the die. But since we're doing a Halloween themed sign, them having broken slats in them really doesn't matter, because that just adds more creepiness to the piece, because I have seen many wrought iron gates, fences that are some of their poles and slats are broken off. I think that's what adds to their creepy factor. But we're gonna go ahead and pop up our characters as if they're kind of just hanging out together at this, I don't know, it's going to be a kind of like a pumpkin patch by the time I'm all done with it. But I'm just gonna pop them up. He'll be on the B and she'll be on the last O. And then I get some pumpkins from my stash. These are really old. They're like Recollection brand, and I mean, they're old, but the sticker's still stuck, but I'm hot gluing them on regardless. That way they're there, you know, as long as time will let them stay there. But so I'm just gonna adhere those on there. Now I'm gonna glue these to the base, and you can see how I'm angling part of them, and I'm overlapping the B to the O and then the O to the other O, so it all fits on there. They're not hanging off to where they're falling off. They feel very, very secure. And this is just some creepy cloth that I got from the Dollar Tree last year. I actually didn't get it. My husband bought some creepy witch head or zombie head or something, and this was the creepy cloth that came on it. I think we threw the other part away and I just kept the cloth. And it actually works really good because it matches her dress really nicely. And it's kind of camouflaging because I put them a little bit higher up on the letters because I knew I was going to put this creepy cloth on. and you know how I don't like my characters floating in the air. So unfortunately I put them a little too high on the letters, so I really had to kind of bunch up that creepy cloth so that it kind of camouflages like they're standing on it. And then I thought it'd be fun to do some cloth on the top too, so it was kind of like hanging down. I don't know if I ended up really liking it. I think it worked out better later when I add the bat and the spider, but I still wanted to kind of bring some of that purple up top, maybe help the top of the letters stand out a little bit. So that's kind of what I was doing there. Then I just got some more stickers from my stash. These are really like the holographic bats and spider sticker. I don't even know where they came from, but I just popped them up with some foam dots, and I thought that worked really well for them, even though they're not dimensional at all. They're actually kind of cheap stickers, but I think they are kind of cool because they kind of have the same colors as what's in the rest of the piece. And then I just die cut out this Happy Halloween from a die cut in my stash, and then I'm just going to keep adding a little bit of things here and there to finish off the piece. So I hope you enjoyed watching this video, and if you did, please like and subscribe. And I also do offer a membership, so if you'd like to, hit the join button below and become a member and get some fun things from me monthly. Alright, I'll see you on the next one. Bye!